fans, there he is, and there that is.
Yeah. That is a handsome-looking logo. Look at that beautiful thing.
Holy moly. What the hell happened? I know this is a new/old logo because this was a logo from the 50s that Art Modell thought was too cartoonish, apparently, and put it on the shelf back in the day. But the fans,
the elf on the shelf.
Yeah, the elf on the shelf. And so now the fans voted to have, what is this, Brownie the elf back in the mix.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. That is a handsome elf. Look at his ears. That's pretty cute. Rather have an elf on the field than an elf on the shelf.
An evil elf. You know what this reminds me of? That creepy ass Burger King that comes, snooping out in neighborhoods and all that. That king was creepy as hell. I want BK to know I love you, BK. I've had plenty of Whoppers in my life, but the king, a couple of years ago, that was creepy ass stuff.
You mean when the king would just like pop up out of nowhere and just kind of like, remember that he would like be in the stands at some sporting event?
It was just weird. And then the Marlins, we had a mascot with our minor league team in New Orleans, the something cakes or whatever the hell it was.
You talking about king cakes?
Sean, can you try to pull up that logo for me of the Marlins minor league team in New Orleans? I forgot what the hell. That was a creepy ass logo too. This is kind of a creepy elf. This is an elf that you could arrest for child molestation or something. Whoa. I don't know. This is just ugly. Oh,
you got to give the people what they want. Fans want the elf. You got to give them the elf. I have some problems though. I would prefer the elf was carrying the football properly. I mean, if we're gonna do this, you might as well do it. And I know it's old school, and I know they want to be true to what it was, but you got to adapt the elf and let him carry the ball high and tight. You don't want to fumble. You don't want to be the Broncos on the goal line. Like, let this guy carry the ball properly.
Fingers. They're pointy fingers.
Hey, his fingers are what they are. You can't make fun of him just because he doesn't have proper-looking fingers. Doesn't have proper-looking ears either, but that's what it is.
See the baby cakes.
Baby cakes.
Oh, my God. That was a creepy.
Definitely not creepy at all.
Oh, my God. What's wrong with you? That's not creepy? The Burger King guy's
totally
creepy?
Normal.
The elf is not creepy? Only the BK guy was creepy for you out of the three?
Yeah. No, okay. Baby cake was a little creepy. I got to be honest. I like
wow. Okay. All right. At least you're and wait till you got to see the Baby Cakes mascot like live.
Is it an actual baby?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's a big giant creepy baby.
Oh, it's not like someone's baby or something.
No.
Okay,
it's just
that would be weird.
Big creepy.
If they just let some baby just crawl around, the dugout or whatever, that would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. That would be weird. But yes, that would be a little odd. So yeah, I just so that elf now is the thing. All right, let's move on. Nathaniel Hackett, we could leave the et out and just call him a hack, but I will give him credit. You know what? I respect people that are willing to admit their faults because that's the only way we're all going to get better. We have to look in the mirror and say, we screwed up. We didn't do this right. I've got to fix this. I give him credit that he realized what most of us realized. Dude, Russell Wilson's a money player, bro. He's been making these plays his whole career. Give him the damn ball. But I give him credit. At least he admitted it.
Yeah, I don't know that's what he said, though. Like, if you read the comments, it seems more like, well, if I'd known he was going to miss it, obviously then I would like to have it back. Like, it's not, I mean, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it's not like, well, yeah, we chose the wrong thing. It was more like, obviously he missed it. If I'd known he was going to miss it, then I would have done the other thing. It's like, I know some quotes got tweeted out, but I'm not sure that was the spirit of it. I'm not sure he basically kind of admitted fault. That said,
he says, looking back at it, we definitely should have gone for it.
Right. Read the rest of it.
Well, let me see where it says here. I don't have the rest of it. I only have the part from the tweet from Yahoo Sports. that from Troy Rennick. And it says, looking back at it, we definitely should have gone for it. I mean, that one sentence alone says it that you admit you screwed up there, right?
I
Looking
don't
back
have
at
it either, but the
okay, but I
main
mean,
thing, I think the main thing is they have Russell Wilson. Whether he admits it or not, whether he comes clean that he made the wrong decision or not, fundamentally it's an issue because, and I think Nathaniel Hackett will be a good coach. He's obviously very bright. He's done a lot there as far as changing the way they do things. So there's a lot to like. But you have Russell Wilson. You paid him $49 million. And that's not a reason alone to do anything, but it
no,
does
it's Russell
indicate
Wilson. No, it's
right,
Russell Wilson. I
right.
don't give a shit about the money, dude. What
Right.
did I
No,
mention with
yeah,
the question?
exactly. Like,
He's a money effing player, dude.
right. You
Since NC State. I'm a guy. So I've been watching his ass since NC State when he was playing with nobodies there and he
right,
was making plays left and right in Wisconsin and Seattle. This is who he's been his whole career. How do
right.
you not put the ball in his hands over a 64-yard field goal?
And that's really the issue is you have two options. You have I'm going to let my best player Russell Wilson win the game or lose the game, or I'm going to let my kicker, who also is good, but he's a kicker. I'm going to let my kicker kick one of the longest field goals in NFL history for a very low percentage, and I'm going to do. And now those were the options, and they chose the kicker. And I think, it's like Nick Saban, your friend, always tells a story about when he was the quarterback of his high school football team, and his dad was the coach. And basically, with the game on the line, the question was like, well, what play do you want to call? And his dad would say, don't think about it, which play you're going to call. Think about it, which player you're going to throw to. Which playmaker is it most important to get the ball to? Get the ball in your hands of your best players, and that is how you win the game. Players win games, best players win the best games. That's kind of what this is. You have Russell Wilson. Why is Russell Wilson not the one winning the game? That's my issue.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100% on that. All right, now back on to the Russell Wilson thing, because I'm also experiencing it here in Miami, and we also experienced it with somebody else. Can you explain to me what it is with our society that we go hard after decent human beings? Russell Wilson was booed. I mean, just hard there in
Well,
Seattle. Okay,
well,
wait. Okay, well, hold on. It's not just that. Whatever he does, he gets slammed for all the time.
true.
And maybe it's and I have this theory that we're all jealous of people that do things the right way all the time and handle everything the right way and all that. I'm seeing it here with Tua. Decent freaking kid, works his ass off, trying to be a good player, doing all the right things, handled the Watson thing like I've never seen
I would
very
do.
few people ever handle controversies. Tim Tebow, all he does is build hospitals, circumcise kids, resurrect people from seizures. This is just a flat out good human being. What is it about our society that we are so quick to slam these kind of human beings mercifully? I mean, just like it's sometimes unfairly, you know what I mean? With the
Yeah.
Tebow stuff, it was kind of fanatical and all that, but I sense the same thing with Tua also, you know what I'm saying? And then I look at Russ, and Russ gets criticized for a promo that he does. He gets criticized for whatever he wears. He gets criticized for whatever he does. And Russ is just a good person, dude, that has been a great player. You know what I mean? And just it's the weirdest thing how we go after these people, and all they do is set great examples on how to be a human being and a professional on a consistent basis. And leaders too, by the way. We can discuss how good a player is or not with Tua, or if Tebow was ever an NFL quarterback or whatever, but I don't think the other stuff can ever be discussed.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Russ, what a lot of the criticism is, and look, he received plenty of it in Seattle. He was very public about kind of ripping the offensive line on the way out. talking about how he shouldn't take that many hits when the reality is he holds the ball and he's sort of the reason for a lot of his hits. He's not often on time on offense, but threw the offensive line on the bus on the Dan Patrick show and really like worked his way out of there, which is fine. Like he got what he want. He got a huge contract. He got to a team like Denver that's good.
But let's also be honest. Let's defend him also. Pete Carroll in the front office did a shit job in the last 7-8 years of his career with the offensive line, no running game. After Lynch, it was just a mess. One year he started where he had a high ankle injury, a knee injury, and like 3 different lower leg injuries. The dude never missed one down. Okay.
Right.
He took a beating back there because he had a slot receiver for many years as his number one guy. I mean, Baldwin was his best receiver. They did a lot of shit to him like they did to Tom Brady in New England. They're like, okay, dude, you're great. You got to elevate the rest of the crap that we're going to put around you no matter what. And he had to carry a lot of that. And I think that frustration built up. I give him a break on that one. You get to a point where you're like, I'm at the last leg here. I'm done with you. Tom Brady, I'm at the last leg. I'm done with you. I got to defend those guys. They did everything they can for those organizations. They didn't do enough for them. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I would say that's Russ's job. When you're making, at that point, his second contract, he's making $30 million. That money goes to him instead of somewhere else. So part of his job as the quarterback, and Brady did it for years. You're watching some of these great quarterbacks do this now. It is your job to elevate, in part because we're paying you the money that we can't pay a second guard, or we can't pay another linebacker, or we can't pay a backup running back $4 million because you're making 40. Like, that's part of your job. I would also say for Russ, there was a lot of hate when he came back to Seattle, and I just didn't get the sense that it was personal. Like, he has to, basically shot his way out of town, got what he wanted, got traded. And I think it's going to be better for both sides because Seattle gets all the picks and they don't have to spend the money on him. And all of that is good. But it's okay to boo the opponent as long as it's not like real personal or bad. And I thought it was okay because if he comes in as the opponent, like, it's okay to boo the opponent.
Your thoughts on the Dolphin win this week? I have some Dolphins that are like kind of unsatisfied, and I'm sitting there going, how can you be unsatisfied in a game that was never in doubt? Just think about that, those words right there. The game was never in doubt. I don't care what the score was. That means it was a good performance overall. Nothing is perfect, but your thoughts on it?
You asked me a question, I think a couple of weeks ago, about the Dolphins and the questions I have. And I talked about it on TV too. And one of the things I had was like, Flores had his fingerprints heavily on this defense, right? This was, I thought, his defense, and especially the last half of last year when they're really, really good. I assumed that some of that defense would walk out the door when Flores left. And it seems that it did not. Like, they were really good. And, you can say whatever you want about the Patriots offensive line, but part of the reason they looked disjointed, confused, whatever, is because the Dolphins were confusing them. Like, there were several free runners, just guys set free because the Patriots offensive line was confused. That's significant to me. I thought that was really good.
Did you see the Cater Kohu kid?
Did not.
He made the play on Hunter Henry in the middle of the field. He's the one that forced the hit on the fumble that was recovered by Jalen Phillips. He played 17 snaps. He's a kid from Division II. Josh Boyer, the defensive coordinator, is the guy that found him. Yeah, that's the guy that.
And that's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Well, it's super cool because Chris Greer also, you've met him. You know Chris Greer. Chris Greer is like the egoless guy. He's not there to go, oh, no, I got to make all the decisions. He's going to allow people to be themselves and grow and all that. That's why he brought in Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie. How many personnel directors would bring in two guys like that?
Yeah.
That's, you got to be really comfortable with yourself to bring in two talents like that. And then your defensive coordinator, who was adamant about making all the calls last year, by the way, in the second half of the season. And the players backed him up this week in an article, if you saw it. So he goes and finds the guy when everybody's worried about Byron Jones down. Everybody's asking, "What about your young corners? Can you trust them?" And McDaniel says, "Well, you look at them as young. We look at them as already veterans." And there's Cater Kohu making 3 of the biggest plays in the damn game. With the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, the forced fumble, and the 4th down deflection with Hunter Henry, and he's half the size of that tight end.
Yeah.
So it's just Josh Boyer deserves a little bit more love. By the way, Marcel Louis Jacques, who's on our platform exclusive like you, he broke the story last year that that Flo wasn't really talking to his defensive assistants from Thanksgiving on nearly as much. So maybe Boyer was in control a lot last year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably never know. And I think there's a lot of things with the Flores era that we will probably never know because we'll get one side and then the other side. But I thought as a team, I thought they looked great. Like, I don't know what else you want out of this first weekend than beat the Patriots soundly in a game that, like you said, was never really in doubt. And to kind of make their offense look bad in the process, the two was good. I thought it was good. I mean, it's, I'm happy for Mike too. That must have been a very cool moment.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, I think, pretty great.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, this week against the Ravens, I'm expecting I didn't see a lot of zero blitz against Mac Jones. So he didn't show a lot of that. I'm wondering if he's saving it this week for Lamar, since Lamar struggled big time against that last year.
Yeah, I am always a little nervous about really blitzing Lamar because he can break you down and run, and he's faster than all of your guys. So I'm curious how they attack him. Do they confuse him or do they attack him? Like, do they go after him or do they sit back and just force him to read? I think it's going to be an awesome game.
I think you attack him and force him to read quickly. That's what you do. And you got to be so disciplined on covering every gap so you make sure he doesn't get away with any of those gaps.
That's tough. And did he – I don't know. Like, I don't think he ran. I'm trying to think if he ran last week. I'm not so sure.
No, he didn't. Right? He barely ran last week. Yeah. He had something where he wanted to stay in the pocket. You know what I mean? Because that's probably what he wants to do here.
Right, and that's sort of the evolution of the mobile quarterback is when you run to throw rather than run to run. Like, that's where you want, because that's how you really get the big plays. And maybe we're seeing that. And maybe he is sort of maturing in front of our eyes.
Maybe. We'll see. The Jets are bad, so we'll see this week against the Dolphins. If he can do some of the same things he did last week, then maybe I can say he's developing. One more thing, do you agree with his way about going this contract thing? Because to me, it's a pretty dumb move on his part for a running quarterback to put, the gamble on himself, because you could easily get injured. And he's already been getting a little dinged up here in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's risky. And would I do it? I probably not. It's just sort of not my nature, right? Like,
you would have had the contract done last off season,
probably, but that's okay. It's his decision. It's his body. It does make me feel sort of good, I guess, because we saw Dak Prescott last year suffer a horrific ankle injury, miss most of this, or 2 years ago, suffer a horrific ankle injury, miss most of the season, and come away with a big contract because medicine is so good, and the Cowboys should look at him and go, "We trust that you are going to heal." That was a pretty serious injury, and they still paid him. So maybe if, God forbid, something happens, we'll be in the same situation. That gives you some confidence. But, hey, Lamar's always been his own dude. Yeah. He's done things his way, and he will continue to do that.
All right, what's the plan this week on the NFL Network? Where can folks catch you, my friend?
I'll be home all week, doing a lot for the Thursday night game, which will be awesome. Big Thursday night game, Chargers-Chiefs, and then full slate of football weekend. Cannot wait. It's going to be great.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at RapSheet. Catch his work there at the NFL Network. Ian, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, good stuff, man. Talk next week.
Thank you, sir. RedRecover.com. We tell you about it all the time. Red light therapy. Listen, no medicine, no side effects. It's beautiful. It's all portable, right? You're not tied to some kind of electrical cord or anything like that. It's all battery. So you want to wear the hat to regrow your hair. You need to get a treatment for your shoulder, your elbow, your knee, your back, your neck, ankles, kids, dogs, adults. Everybody's using it. Go to redrecover.com. Check out the website. Learn a little bit more about red light therapy. I've been telling you about it for a while. The doc was on with us yesterday, showing you how it can optimize your workouts. So it doesn't matter whether you're trying to make a scar disappear, your hair grow, your muscles and your bones and everything feel better in certain joints. Redrecover.com can help you out. Check out the video blogs and use our code BIG O. You will get 10% off. Redrecover.com.